of the Simplay Motorsport Racing League. I hope to bring you the rest of the evening's times and everybody's best laps from them for the group configuration. This is the guys that didn't qualify last night that are qualifying tonight, so this will be their chance to get on the group table, if you will. So hopefully we can enjoy some fantastic qualifying sessions here. We are just waiting for certain people to join the league, the lobby should I say, sorry, and then we'll be underway with that one so that we can get everybody in and get everybody a fair chance. Hope everybody is well this evening, and we hope we're here for what is going to be some interesting qualification. We've got some quick guys out there tonight, the likes of the Sooty Apex, Gary 131, Little Each as well, a quick man himself in his own right. Congratulations to him who won the Clio Cup race for Motive Racing, I do believe, on Tuesday night. So nice to see that. Like I say, just having a few moments, just waiting for others to join, and hopefully we can get underway with the qualification process. Hope everybody's well this evening. Hope we've all had a good day at work. If not, you've been at work, school, or wherever you may have been today. We've had a great day. Hope you enjoyed last night as well with me and Master Dean Wasaki, Karen Argent in the chat. Hope you had a good evening with us all there as well. As you can see, Cam is in today. Getting some more testing in. He's never raced sim racing, so this is his first real time for him. So hopefully he'll be able to get his head around everything and get it all sorted for tonight. Michael Curtis can't make it. Apparently that's one that we're going to sadly miss out on. So he will probably now qualify in the B group. The likes of swim fins, I do believe, is one we are waiting on, and then some others as well. Keegs we're waiting on, and I do believe NJ, another guy we are currently waiting on. We do have a 40-minute session which we will get underway shortly, even into TMLS, aka Daniel Francis and Michael Matthews. Good luck, guys. Looking forward to seeing if I made it to the cut of Pro or if I am Pro-Am. I can't decide which I would prefer. Yep, we're all hoping, everybody be hoping for what they'd like. Just going to wait 2 or 3 more minutes while we wait for... does Gary have any fans in this league? Yeah, he does. Bethany, the wife, she's a fan of Gary. So he's got her full support, no doubt. Like I say, we are just going to try and wait for Keegs, Swimfins and NJ, and then if they don't appear, we'll get this underway. At the moment we have a decent sized field. 6 cars will be going around track. Evening to Gary, he's here in the chat. Gary, do you know where NJ is? Are we aware of his situation? Also, Swimfin's the other one who hasn't qualified. If these lads aren't able to qualify, their times may mean that they end up in the Pro-Am group. If they are able to qualify and get here, even better. Like I say, McCurtis is not available, so he'll probably go into Pro-Am. Don't think he's about, mate. Well, what we'll do is we'll get started. They've got 40 minutes and then a 5-lap race. If they've not managed to get it for qualifying and don't set a time, but they are able to turn up for the race, their race time will count. But let's wait and see what is going to happen. Going to get underway here then, and hopefully what will be the start of something brilliant. The groups will be pretty much decided tonight, then we can look at them over the weekend and get it announced on the group chat for over the weekend and over the coming course, and then ready for the season. So, as we can see, my name is on the leaderboard, but I will not be taking part in qualifying tonight due to last-minute hiccups. Means that I will not be able to take part tonight, unfortunately. But we still have some quick guys out there. So we have TMLS, Sutty Apex, who's getting out. DJ Phil is also getting out on track. Gary, in what looks to be the Ginetta, getting out there in the red and yellow livery Ginetta. Little Leach also on track in his lovely coloured Nissan. That is a beauty, that. And Cam, he's coming out to do some testing as well. Let's jump on board Gary 131. Probably in many people's eyes, probably one of the favourites for the Pro Group to qualify there, and probably one of the favourites to win the Pro Group. Very quick driver is Gary. And his brother Little Leach, you can see in the background. Also another one to watch in the season. Don't discount anybody at the moment, but they're two to keep your eyes on as the season will progress and develop. So we shall see what happens here. At the Donington Park GP circuit, the exact same circuit as last night, 40-minute session. The 5-lap race after will not count for anything other than it's just a bit of fun. We had it last night. It's just a bit of fun for tonight. So hopefully we can get that back for this one. But here's Gary. He's just about to round the final hairpin. He's in the Ginetta, so you know, a brave, bold choice for Gary to choose this car. Currently, last night we seen Adam Kaup, aka Mazda 917, set the fastest time of 1:27.4. A few people in the low 129s, high 128s, only two managed a 1:27. Everybody else sort of in the 1:30 mark, respectively. Cameron White, who'd never sim raced it before in his life, is a 1:38. And Alfie has set a time of 1:39. So unfortunately for Alfie and Cameron, probably looking at the Pro-Am group. The guys in the 1:30s are looking to see whether they'll make Pro or Pro-Am. With the guys who may not set a time, that could boost them up into the big league. And for some of them, that might be a step up in the right direction of them learning and everything else. But we're underway here. We see Gary's will set the first lap time. We'll flick through the drivers, like I say, as we go along through the night. Let's just get a first lap out of the way. This is technically a qualifying session on project cars, but it's not going to mean for anything in terms of grid positions for the race after this. Is just purely fastest lap time at the end of the session. So drivers do have to be on at the end of the session so we can take their lap times. If their lap time isn't there at the end, it will not count. Now, we may take their fastest lap time from the race, but it will not count other than that. So a 40-minute session to try and set the stage alight as Gary sets his rear tyres alight, losing it coming through the Melbourne hairpin. That's going to ruin his lap. In fact, he keeps out of Sutty Apex's way. There's Sutty Apex in the black and green Lamborghini, the number 63 mobile. Sutty, we find out last night, is teaming up with Phil, provided they qualify in the same group. And Sutty goes and does a 1:30.1. Gary with a 1:32.6, but obviously lost it at the Melbourne hairpin. So unfortunately for Gary, he will have to go again. Just warming his tyres up maybe to start with. For Sutty Apex out, looks quick. And I can confirm this for you guys. We know in previous leagues, Sutty was... he's got the wheel, but is a pad wheel in between kind of guy. He is trying the wheel for the whole season in this, with this being the one car. Unlike the previous season, in the previous league we raced in with 6 different cars, he feels that he can get to grips with the wheel better on the one car than trying different cars throughout the night. So Sutty, I do believe, is on the wheel as he bins it coming through Coppice Corner. And we'll see what he can do as the evening progresses. Here, though, is Little Leach. He's currently a 132 dead at the moment in that, like I said earlier, the lovely liveried Nissan. Beautiful colours. A turquoisey blue with a white and black. Absolutely beautiful. The big 75 on the windscreen. Let's see what happens here then with him. So evening to everybody who is tuned in and who is watching this stream. Please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are here. Please do that. We appreciate your effort and taking your time out of your day to watch us on this stream, even though the season hasn't quite got underway yet. Little Leach coming around the Melbourne hairpin. You see DJ Phil in that green, lime greeny yellowy Porsche. DJ Phil, a new entrant into the, well, they're all new entrants into the Simplay Motorsport, but if anybody's seen previous commentaries on previous leagues that I've commentated on, you'll come to grips and know about Little Leach and Gary and Sutty, TMLS and people like that. But for Cam and DJ Phil, they're new to these people who are racing in this, so let's see what they can do. As Little Leach does a 131 dead, and Gary has gone quickest at the moment with a 128.8 in his little Ginetta. Speaking of DJ Phil, he currently has a 133.2. It's a nice livery, that. The yellow with the green, it is a nice livery. Phil Naylor, come on Sutty, no messing around tonight. Keegs has just joined, so one of the lads is in. He's got 35 minutes left to select his car and get his time in. Obviously a big night for Keegs, with Mazda announcing that's going to be his teammate. If Keegs wasn't in the same lobby or didn't set a time, Mazda may not have a teammate, and we've lost DJ Phil. Hopefully we can get DJ Phil back in. So let's jump on board TMLS in the black and white Acura with the green trim on the back of the wings, the top of the car and the wing mirrors. Lovely looking Acura is that. Number 86 car coming through the old hairpin corner. Doesn't use any of the runoff out wide, and he's half a second up on his time at the minute. Back uphill he goes as he heads up towards McLean's then. On the brakes, DJ Phil is back in. Maybe just a change of car for DJ Phil. Maybe not feeling quite comfortable in that. Chris in the chat, come on Keegs, get your finger out. Hopefully he's had a better day at school today, Chris. Hopefully he's been a good boy today. Keegs, our youngest runner on the grid. A bit of information then about some of the drivers as we watch Daniel finish his lap then. We'll start with the guy we're on board, TMLS, the man from Burton upon Trent. 42 years of age. Raced on a wheel, his idle driver is Ayrton Senna. He's raced 38 years since his first go on pole position. Now, I can't tell you what pole position is. I know Christopher Walsh and TMLS had a good talk about it the other day in practice, but I could not tell you what pole position is. So these guys obviously know what they're on about. As he's going to cross the line now. And does improve, 2.8 seconds he improves by, so that's a 132 dead. Here's Cam, who we saw last night. I think he set his time in the Porsche. His time will not change any, he has qualified. This is just purely testing for him, like it was for Sutty last night. He is quicker in the Lamborghini, so it is nice to see that, you know, he's had one night to test, he's come on with a different car, and he is a bit quicker. And I have to say, the yellow and blue and grey on that livery is gorgeous. The 66 Mobile. Liveries will be a key factor in this season. As you will know, teammates been announced and we'll see people get partnered up. DJ Phil back in his green and yellow Porsche. And here's Keegs in the Mercedes SLS, the first Mercedes we've seen on the grid tonight, in the light blue and orange Gulf colours, which we know the McLaren F1 team has got a partnership with Gulf for a sponsorship, so maybe we could see some light blue on their car for next year. He has Gary 131 just behind him, who hasn't improved any at the minute, but Little Leach and Sutty are down into the 129s. Little Leach with a 129.1 and Sutty with a 129.8. Keegs then, like I say, the youngest driver on the grid. He's from Dundee, 14 years of age. His occupation is school. Now, when Kieran was filling the forms out, his occupation got mixed up with Michael Matthews, and the 14-year-old, it said at the time, was a weapons engineer for the Royal Navy. Obviously he's not. He's at school, still working hard and learning. Maybe he might want to become a weapons engineer for the Royal Navy. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Races on the wheel. His idle driver is that man who's just ghosted in the background. Is Gary 131 is Keegs' idle driver. And what an idol to have. Keegs obviously looks up to Gary and idolises his driving style and his commitment and his pace. He's been sim racing for 2 years, and it's the Lamborghini GT3 is his favourite car, but as you can see, he's in the Mercedes SLS as Gary was all sideways at that back corner. Keegs then just comes down to start his lap time. For those who's wondering, it ghosts because Keegs and DJ Phil left the server and came back in late. Gary will not be able to see them on track, so it does ghost for them. Daniel Francis says, whereas I'm just idle. Not sure what you mean about that, but yes, it ghosts because Gary cannot see them on track. So instead of causing incidents. We don't know why it does that, it just does. Sutton TMLS in the pits. Ignore Matt at the bottom, that is myself. I will not be taking part tonight in the qualifying process due to last minute hiccups. Nonetheless, you can see Gary right behind Dean there. As Keys comes round the final hairpin and down to start his time, and he's going to cross the line and sets a 1:28.4, the quickest time of the night so far. Chris says he better have with 2 laughing emojis. So Keegs then crosses the line and currently goes quickest. DJ fell onto a 1:35, Cam's up into the 1:33, so this is nice to see. People getting that little bit quicker then. TMLS into the 1:32s and he's very close to being in the 1:31s. Let's watch him cross the line with 28 minutes left to go. No, he didn't improve that time. Back on board with Sutty, who has Keegs just behind him. So let's see what happens here. Now for Dean Wysocki, this could all be an interesting... sorry, for Dean Wysocki, sorry. For Sutty Apex, this could be an interesting qualifying session. He's got to make sure he's qualifying close to what he wants his teammates' time to be, which is Phil. And obviously a big night for Phil. Finds out if his teammate has qualified and make the cut. Hopefully he has. This comes round down the crane of curves. You see Keegs behind. Keegs has done a 1:28.4. Gary still on the 1:28.8. Can't seem to improve in the Ginetta. Sutty currently down on his time, so let's have a look at Little Leach, see if Little Leach is up on his time. He's got DJ Phil just in front. Now if you're wondering how the ghosting fixes itself, if the car pits that can't see the driver, the ghosting will then sort of fix itself as it comes through. We see Little Leach 9/10 down on his time as well. What is DJ Phil doing? Is he up? We'll see if he's up through sector 2. Little Leach just probably ruins his chicane a bit there. A good chicane though for DJ Phil. Gary is in the pits. DJ Phil's 1.2 up on his time here, so it could be a good time this. As Little Leach loses the rear at the Melbourne hairpin. Let's see what happens. Adam Kaup, come on Keegs, need to find more time, says Adam. Obviously teammates for this season. Adam, if you're about and you're on the PlayStation, mate, don't hesitate to jump in, and we can have a good chat, good natter, as DJ Phil goes 1.6 seconds quicker. He's now 4.3 off the lead time of Keegs, but he's got himself up into the 1:32.7s. For TMLS, he's coming down to the Melbourne hairpin. Let's see if he's up on his time and see if he can improve to get into the 1:31s. If he can, that'll be good for him, as he'll want to try and get into that 1:20 barrier and try and get into what could possibly be the pro group for him. He does go quicker, he goes 9/10 quicker, nearly the set 1 point something he'd needed to get into the 1:30s, but he's a 1:31.1 now, so he's gone a bit faster there, and he'll be looking to try and get even quicker with the 25 minutes that do remain. Obviously tyre wear on, fuel on, damage on, everything on, so that if you do really have to get your tyres up to temperature, and the fuel, you can see there coming down on Little Leach's fuel gauge as he spins at the chicane there. That's unfortunate for him. And now powers on down to the Melbourne hairpin. So here's Keegs, currently just starting a new lap. Gary's free coming out the pits now, so hopefully Gary can try and find some more time there then. We know Gary's quick, we know he's one to watch like Adam Kaup and Jamie Brazier, but he's got to sort of show that, because he's currently 1.4 slower than Mazda at the moment. Sutty Apex currently parked in the pits at the moment as well. He'll be wanting to get out of there and get back on track and set some more lap times. We know TMLS, if let's stay on board with TMLS, he's coming towards the end of his lap, so let's stay on board with him and see what he can do. That in the background looked like Cam, who's about to come through onto the GP part of the track. We'll jump on board with Cam anytime soon. Let's just first of all see what TMLS can do and see if TMLS can get through qualifying. A flash of the lights from TMLS earlier. Monkey Boy evening, so TMLS is going to come into the pits. Here comes Cam then. Is Cam up on his time? Evening to Monkey Boy in the chat. As Cam comes around the final hairpin, 4.9 left in the tank. He's got to keep an eye on his fuel and crosses the line and does improve by 0.4 of a second to do a 1:32.1. DJ Phil then coming to the end of his lap. DJ Phil from Prestatyn in Wales, so a fellow Welshman on the grid. That's nice to see. He's 35 years of age. He's on the pad, and he's only been sim racing for 4 months. Daniel TMS was flashing, saying don't bother, because he was pitting. So fair enough then, Daniel. There's a DJ Phil. Oh, he's just got that last corner a bit wrong, and he's going to be down on his time. Here then is Gary Leach. Bit of information on Gary Leach, the Suffolk man, the 28-year-old professional racing driver on the T150, the Thrustmaster T150 with steering wheel. Andrew Palmer is his favourite racing driver, not Arnold Palmer the golfer, Andrew Palmer the racer. He's not been sim racing apparently, and his favourite class is the British Touring Car class. Now Gary as well, he's a man of many talents. He's quite the cricketer on the Cricket 19 game. Me and Gary have many a battles in the test match arena on there. Quite the cricketer. He's also quite the golfer, enjoys his golf, and he's a Liverpool supporter, so a man who will be very happy with Liverpool's achievements this season on winning their first ever Premier League title. Now it's Gary's time to win the first Simplay Motorsport title. So let's see what he can do. Up over the hill towards the final hairpin. Any improvement this time around for Gary Leach? Let's have a look. Gary 131, as everybody knows him as, but it's Gary Leach. And he's 2.5 seconds down that lap time. Little Leach, just put it in the pits. We were just about to talk about Little Leach. So Craig Leach from Ipswich 28 years old. He's a sales assistant. He's also on the Thrustmaster T150. Gordon Moody from the Brisker F2 is his idle driver, and he's been sim racing for about a year. His favourite class is the GT4s. As we jump back on this man, Graham Sutcliffe, aka Sooty Apex, around the Melbourne hairpin, and he didn't take it great there, so let's see what he can do. He's learning the pad, and I'm sure Phil is sat watching with great intent to see whether his man can get up there into the pro group. And Graham takes it to the pit lane. He's going to abort his lap back to Daniel Francis then, TMLS in the Acura. We've got a bit more of a different feel tonight on here, as he's lost it coming around Coppice, and DJ Phil will take over. I've pressed back to do a lap time, but I'm not doing a lap time. So DJ Phil then, hard onto the brakes through the Fogarty S's to get onto the GP part of the track now. Just looking at the Facebook chat, and Mazda is giving what he hopes to be his teammate a few tips. Let's put it that way. A few tips on how to drive the Mercedes on the old Facebook chat. As DJ Phil is about to come into the pit lane. Here comes Cam then. Crosses the line and doesn't improve any, but hasn't been sim racing at all as Cam. So this is his real first sim race league. And for him, he's really got to try and get to grips with it early, because it's easy to lose points. Now don't forget, there is going to be a dropped point score, so your worst finish will be dropped from the league. And we'll have to see what happens as he comes up the hill then towards McLean's corner. Takes that well, gets the apex of the corner, uses a little bit of curb, and only a very small bit of curb on the exit, up towards Coppice now, a corner that just seems to carry on and carry on. Over the curb he goes well, and keeps it tight round there. That was well done. Touches the curb on exit, and down the Dunlop straight he goes. Pulls over to the right hand side, the left as you look at it on screen, and goes into the Fogarty S's now. Don't be too greedy on the first part of the curb, and then nice and greedy on the second part, and he takes that brilliantly down towards the Melbourne hairpin now. It's a double apex. It's not really a double apex, it's just a hairpin corner, should I say. Wide exit there from him, and back uphill we go towards the second hairpin, the final hairpin. Around that with ease. Use the curb on the right if you want to. He doesn't. Back end sliding out from him, and is he going to improve this time round? No, half a second down, but it was a good lap time from him. TMLS is about to cross the line. Is TMLS going to go any quicker? He does, half a second quicker nearly, and that puts TMLS into the 1 minute 30s as Gary's left the session, probably going to change car with 17 minutes to go. Graham Sutcliffe then, he's just down by the old hairpin, and Little Each in that I keep saying it, but every time I jump on board this, the Nissan livery that Little Each is using is absolutely beautiful. He crosses the line now, 2 seconds down, so he's probably going to go for it this time around. Sooty pushing hard, probably a bit wide on the exit to Coppice and what he'd have liked, and here he goes down the straight. Gary is back in the server. What car is he trying now? Nice and greedy on that second curb, brilliantly over to the left hand side of the track. The right as you look at it, into the Melbourne hairpin. Try and leave the brake in as late as possible and get it in. Don't be greedy on the throttle on the way out. The railer will want to come around on you, and that was beautifully done from Sooty. Let's just go on board Sooty then for the final corner here. As you can see, the cracked windscreen, he's obviously had a bit of damage, bit of contact with the wall probably at some point in this session, and hard on the straight he goes and doesn't improve that lap. Let's just see how, let's look at him. He's nice and smooth at the minute. Let's see how smooth he is into turn 1. Good on the brakes, down into second gear, all up on the curb. That was nicely done, nice and smooth from Sooty Apex there as he comes down the crane of curves. Good into there, maybe a little lift. I'm not sure, it sounded like there was a little lift as he comes through the old hairpin right hander. Now he's going to go back uphill. It flicks left here and then keep the car right before bringing it left again for the little flick here. And then you've got McLean's corner. How much curve does he take here? No, just a good amount, and then runs it wide onto the curb left there. Brilliantly done from Sooty Apex. This has been an outstanding lap. Brake late, just touches the inside apex there, and then probably gets that maybe a little wider on exit than he'd have liked, but it was brilliant nonetheless. Flick right as you come down the Dunlop straight towards the Fogarty S's. Where do you brake? Picks it there. Try not to be greedy on the first curb, but the second curb you can get nice and greedy with. Back onto the curb on the left and keep it left. You come back down towards the Melbourne hairpin. He's 7/10 down at the moment, but I tell you what, it's been a smooth lap, this lap from Sooty. Nice on the throttle, power down on exit, and away he goes. Up to third, probably will reach fourth. Yep, into fourth. Brakes then for the final hairpin. In second, lets it roll in a little bit, back on the throttle, and then bang into second as he hits the exit and crosses the line. 4/10 he was down on that lap, but all in all, that was a good lap from Sooty. It was nice and smooth, and it was brilliant. Keegs, he's just coming into the Melbourne hairpin. Let's have a look at Keegs. Mazda will be watching this one with great intent as his teammate currently quickest so far, but we've seen two people last night drop into the 127s. We've not seen anyone drop into the 127 so far. And Keegs pits. Gary, what's he come back in? I do believe that is the Aston Martin that Gary's came in. Gary obviously trying a few cars out here, and he's in the Aston. And he gets the power down. This is, I think, his out lap, so Gary will start a lap now. You see Little Leach in the background. Is Little Leach going to improve any? Crosses the line now, 2/10 down. So is that all he can get out of the Nissan? But for Gary, no, Monkey Boy, not setting a time tonight, mate. Bit of a hiccup in terms of the stream tonight, so I'm not able to set a time, and I'm going to have to speak with the admin about what's going to happen, what will occur about my lap time. Otherwise, these guys, it's not fair on the guys to not have a stream. You know, it's not fair on the lads last night that got the stream, and the lads that took the time out to be part of this league to not get their stream up and running. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to set a time. Daniel Francis has gone into the pit, and the pit crew's dropped a wheel nut. Brilliant. That's what you want. For the lads who are intrigued to know, don't use, if you're racing the Mercedes, Keek says don't use the soft tyre. He's not said it in chat, but it's on a Facebook chat we're part of as a few drivers. So if you're in the Mercedes, don't use the soft tyre. Apparently it doesn't work. Either that or Keeks can't get it to work. I can see Keeks and Mazda. I'm watching you two on that chat, and I know what's being said. As we power down the straight with Gary, he's going to set his first time in the Aston Martin and does a 1:29.9. So while he gets that car back up to temperature, gets some tyres up to temperature, so I say not the car, we'll see if he can improve any. Little Leach hasn't gone any quicker. There's Keegs round at the Foggy S's. Unfortunate for him on his outlap. DJ Phil Green has left the session again. Hopefully he can get back in, as his time, he will need to get back in for his time to count. Here's Sooty Apex, and we saw nice and smooth earlier on the brakes towards the final corner. Round he goes. Is he going to be up on his time with 12 minutes 21 seconds to go? Let's have a look. DJ Phil Green is back in, so hopefully he's in to stay here, and Sooty doesn't improve. TMLS, where's he coming into the Fogarty S's so far? That's Cam just spinning in front of him there, unfortunately for him. And down the straight we go, brake into the corner. And round the Melbourne hairpin, the right hander. Back on the power now, and uphill we go. TMLS really wants to try and break that 1:30 barrier. He's just got to find 7/10 from somewhere. There was a lot of drivers last night found themselves in the 1:30 area, and not enough out of it that they'd have wanted. Just a few tenths here or there as well to just get out of it. For example, Dean Wasaki needed 4/10. Kieran Argent needed 4/10. Deeks needed 4/10. And Welshie, oh excuse me, a Welshie needed just half a second to get out to the 1:30 mark. So unfortunate is that. And here is TMLS. Round the old hairpin, didn't improve that time round. He's currently down in his time again here. Gary, no improvement for him last lap, it doesn't seem. Keegs looks like he's about to finish a time. Keegs can learn a lot here. We know his idle driver is Gary131, who's on track with him at the moment, so Keegs must be loving every minute again to race with his idle. But he can learn a lot from Mazda here. Mazda been sim racing for 12 years. And Keegs can learn a lot from Mazda as he crosses the line and is 1.1 seconds slower. We saw Sutty off in the background. Here's Cam then. Monkey Boy says fair enough, hope you can sort it out. I hope sort something out. Yep, same here, Monkey Boy. It'll be a shame to not be on the grid, but if there's no one else to do the other stream, then my commitments lie to doing the stream, unfortunately. It'll be a shame not to race, but that could be the case. As he powers up the straight here, does Cam. Mazda's just jumped online, so let's try and get Mazda in for a chat. While we do so, see if he can come in for a quick word. Swimfins is online, so why hasn't he joined? Because he needs to set a qualifying time, otherwise he's just going to be in Group B. So while we wait for Swimfins, let's see if Mazda comes in as well. Here's Keegs about to finish lap, and Mazda is here. Evening, Mazda.
Evening.
Are we well?
Yeah, not bad, a bit tired.
Yeah, bless you. Come to keep an eye on your teammate. Are we watching the stream?
Yeah, I'm just seeing how everybody is as well, to be honest.
No time's close to yours or Jamie Brazier's time from last night. I mean, the closest man is your teammate Keegs, who's about to cross the line now, and no improvement from him. Little Leach will follow suit. No improvement from him, and Sutty, no improvement from him. Yeah, nobody close to your times at the minute. Is that confidence going into the season then, or is it just, you know, it's qualifying, the season starts when it starts and it's a different track altogether?
It's just qualifying into it, really. Just put a time out there. So yeah, it's a track I love. I really do love Donington. So yeah, really.
Questions for you. With people looking at the qualifying times and sort of getting a rough idea of who's got what sort of pace, do you see yourself as being favourite for the... Obviously, you're more than likely going to go into Pro-Am, but do you see yourself as favourite, or can you see why many people would see you as favourite with the time you've set at the moment, as Gary crosses the line and goes 9/10 quicker and does a 1:28.9?
No, I wouldn't say I am the favourite or whatever you want to say. This is a track I do love. You know, I found out that I do like the Mercedes better than the Lamborghini, and
oh, we've lost Gary from the session, so hopefully he can get back in and set a lap time. We'll jump back on with Little Leach just behind Keegs on track. Can you see why people might say you're the favourite though?
I could see why, because of the time, you know, and what, really, I'm probably a second quicker than anybody else, but like 3 or 4 tenths quicker than Jamie. But you know, this is just qualifying to sort the groups out. You know, racing's completely different to qualifying over one lap.
Yeah, completely agree with you. There is Little Leach. Oh, just gets a bit sideways coming through that final corner there. DJ Phil, he's back on the server. Let's see what he's in. He's in the Mercedes SLS and has done a 1:35.6.
You know, as we find that in, you know, a bit of a fun racing, we've done, you know, you can keep up with me in the slipstream. So, you know, one lap's one lap, racing's half hour, bit of rain if you took rain in there or whatever weather we get, you know, it's just I can't say.
I was saying before the start of tonight, as we see DJ Phil just take the gravel, I was saying that, you know, Gary possibly some people's favourite, as well as maybe a Little Leach and Sutty. Is that a fair argument to say?
I'd definitely say a fair argument, and especially with Little Leach. Big shout out to him with driving that Nissan. That Nissan is an absolute handful. So for him to drive it around this track and get them times, it's unbelievable.
I'll tell you what I must say though, and I've said it all night, that livery on Little Leach's car is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a nice colour to be looking at.
So Gary's back in the server, and he's in. Oh, I tell you what, a gorgeous green and grey Acura livery. Obviously trying out the Acura now. Couldn't get to grips with the Aston. The Ginetta, he tried to do the Ginetta, but it just felt a bit. I've tested the Ginetta, Master, and it just feels a bit slow in terms of top speed.
Well, like I say, we've done a bit of practice, and on the long straights, that is quite down on straight speed. But you know, if we got a tight and twisty track, that could be a nice car to be driving.
Yeah, 100%. You see the two Acuras coming down the back straight, then the Dunlop straight. There's Gary, and then TMLS in the background as Gary breaks into it.
I must admit that Acura is nice on the brakes. I'm not going to lie, that is a very nice car.
Yeah,
but
it is nice.
I don't know, there's something about it, I just can't seem to find the pace.
It's also in testing good. Seems good in the wet.
Oh, in the wet, yes, it's definitely, like I say, the brakes is probably what you need for the wet weather. So, you know, it's very nice, but, you know, I just can't find the pace in that car, so that's why me and you aren't teammates, buddy.
Definitely. As Gary has now just about sought his first flying lap. There's Cam. He's got little Leach and Sutty behind him. Cam in for just a bit of testing tonight. And we've already seen an improvement from him because he's already gone quicker than what he set a time last night. He's actually 7 seconds quicker than what he was last night. So that's brilliant to see him as to that already. Today he's not been sim racing for long. The improvements are there.
Oh, it's always a bonus, isn't it? You know, just get out as much as possible. You know, and your times will fall. And like you said, you know, the respect for the lads on is just, you know, just great to see.
Yeah, great seeing new entries, and don't forget there is still spaces and there is still time to sign up, and the groups will sort themselves out. As you may not be in the group you want with people not being here. Jamie Brazier in chat says well done to Cameron. He's in the Lamborghini tonight, so depending on the groups, could see them two as maybe a possible teammate, it seems as they know each other. There is times to still sign up. Just search Simplay Motorsport as Swimfins has finally joined, so hopefully he can get a time in. Needs to be on track soon. Hopefully he can get a time in and set that. So I think the only people we are missing is NJ won't get to do a time. McCurtis won't make tonight. No Holty neither. Unfortunately for him. As Cameron spins round then towards the last corner. There, Leach crosses the line now, and it's no improvement for him. But Gary has done a 129.2 in that Acura. Oh, and bins it going up in towards McLean's, catches it well. Got it all sorts of sideways there. Caught the car brilliantly.
Yeah, that is beautiful handling, isn't it?
As Swimfins has joined the session with 2 minutes 30 to go, so may only get the one lap in the blue and black livery there of the Porsche. May only get the one lap in, but has the race to also set his time, considering he's joined late. Who was that coming out the pits? That's Cam. DJ Phil there in the Mercedes, a 135.6. Looks like he's improving all the time. How's TMLS doing? Oh, coming up to the Melbourne hairpin. Let's see what he can do. See if he's any quicker. He's 7/10 from breaking that 1 minute 30 barrier. Again, for everybody watching, please leave a big like on the stream and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you can, try and share the video with others to try and get more people into the community. And TMLS does go quicker, goes a 10th quicker, so he needs to find 6/10 from somewhere to improve on his time. As Sutty has also crossed the line. Where's Gary? So he started another lap, didn't improve last time round. I know in testing before, Master, I've managed to get a 127 out of this Acura myself. And with, with Gary being Gary, we know how quick he is. He can easily get a 127 out of this car as well, provided it suits him.
Yeah, you know, I think with this car you either love it or you hate it, don't you? And it looks like he is struggling a bit with the car, so I don't know. We'll have to see what he can do.
Jamie Brazier says, has anyone gone quicker than last night? No, nobody's gone quicker. It was only you and Mazda in the 127s last night, and the quickest time tonight is a 128, so a whole second slower than you and Mazda. Unfortunately, I've not been able to test myself. I know I can get in the 127s, but not been able to test myself due to a little hiccup before the stream. 10 minutes before, in fact. Little Leach is in the pit, so he will not do a time. So a 129.135 is what Little Leach has set. In fact, he's coming back out the pitch, so let's see what he does. I don't think he's going to have time to come round here. 20 seconds left on the clock. As Gary will get one more lap time in. Is Swinfins going to be able to cross the line to get one lap in? Yeah, he is. As TMLS does ghost again, just a bit on the ghosting. If anybody ghosts, it means that they can't see you on track because you joined the lobby late. Bethany and Duffin in chat. Come on, Gary. There you go, Gary. Your fans online. Nice to know that the wife doesn't support her husband. She supports Gary, big rival.
What do you mean, big rival? I want to say he's going to be your teammate.
No, I'm not revealing my teammate just yet. As Keegs will be the first man to cross the line and finish the session and puts it on the grass, so he's going to go no quicker than a 128.4, a whole second slower than his teammate Adam. Is that good enough to get him into Group A? We'll find out. Little Leach is in the pit. Gary 131 is not the next man to cross the line. Is it Sooty Apex? No. Cam is going to cross the line next. There is a car behind. That's Keegs still off at the back of the track. I hope he wasn't doing donuts there. Knowing Keegs, he probably was. Cam crosses the line then and doesn't go any quicker. Does Gary do any better? Gary goes quickest and does a 128.4. So a good lap for Gary. But obviously finding the time in the Honda. The Honda does get good and does come to the people. Here, Sooty Apex. Now, what kind of lap time is he going to set? Does he improve any? No. So a 129.2 is going to be his time. TMLS, he's off somewhere. Can't see where he is. Swinfins has managed to just do his one lap. We'll look at Swinfins' lap from the race as well. TMLS has left his car in the pro driver position, it says. We can't see that. DJ Phil has done a 134. So sorry, TMLS will see his lap time in a moment. So TMLS has done a 1 minute 30.6. Another man to not break the 1 minute 30 barrier. DJ Phil has done a 1:33.4. Swinford's the other man set a time, but because he only had one lap, we'll see what his time is in the race. And we'll go from there. According to Keegs on Facebook, Master, his potential was a 27.2.
Okay, that's roughly about my time, my potential.
Potential means nothing, though.
It certainly does, mate, because I have got that into the 26s and I've not even touched that yet. But I'm happy with a 27.4, so.
Yeah, so this is the fun part of the night then, where the guys are just going to ready up for a quick 5-lap race. And we'll see what they can do from here. And it's go here at Donington Park. It's a good start from Gary, 131 with Keegs currently second. Little Leach didn't seem to get off the line well at all. And then you've got Daniel just behind him with Cam and Sooty as well in the two Lamborghinis. DJ Phil in the Mercedes and Swinfins at the rear in the Porsche. Swinfins should really, try and get some good qualifying lap times in here as Keegs is overtaking Gary. If there's any way to get good practice in, it's probably getting some race practice in. So this could be good for Gary and Keegs, and for all these drivers, in fact, in the cars.
Certainly is. Come on, Keegs, we can beat Gary.
That's Keegs.
Team Iron Brew. Team Iron Brew all the way.
Is that the livery then this year? If it's Team Iron Brew, blue and
I
orange.
don't know.
As Gary looks around the outside at Coppice corner, then here looks like they're going to make it side by side as they come down the Dunlop straight. And here Gary goes. He's going to be inside for the chicane. Surely Keegs isn't brave enough to take it too wide into there, and no, isn't, as they go in. Takes that chicane very well, does Gary and Keegs. Little Leach is then third at the moment, with Cam fourth, Sutty fifth, TMLS sixth, and onto the grass there. DJ Phil now up to sixth, and Swimfins currently eighth, hoping to get some qualifying times in to set his lap time. But out front, Gary with a flash of the lights. Don't know what that means. Excuse me, Keegs all over the back of Gary there, and Gary's pulling into the pits, so not quite sure why Gary's pitting. It isn't a mandatory pit stop, so I don't know what that's all about, but Keegs will inherit...
Sorry to butt in, but is he going to try the soft tyres to see how that car feels?
Possibly. So Keegs inherits the lead from Little Leach. Cam third with Sutty fourth, DJ Phil fifth, TMLS in sixth, and Gary just gets out ahead of Swimfins, so not quite sure what that was about. Jump start, says Jamie Brazier. Possibly a drive-through penalty, because it was a very quick pit stop. So did he jump the start?
Possibly, it could be a drive-through.
It seemed a very quick pit stop nonetheless. And for Keegs then, he's got Little Leach just 6/10 behind him. Little Leach, a very quick driver. And you said driving a car that's a bit of a handful. Is the Nissan not a choice you'd have gone for?
No. Straight up, no. I've tried to do what ran Silverstone when we knew what tracks we were going to do, and I just couldn't even get that round corners.
Shame. Keep your eyes on the Facebook group. There is going to be a live draw, FA Cup kind of style, for the weather for the track. So it'll be a draw for how many slots. There will be weather slots. You can have a maximum of 5 slots, and then a draw for the weather. We was going to try random weather, but the fact of thunderstorms is just not realistic. Why is Keegs now pitting? The race, I'm 100% sure, isn't a mandatory pit stop race. Keegs also doing a drive-through, so did he jump the start? Them two did seem quite a fair way up the road compared to Little Leach. So did both of them jump the start there then? Nothing on the timing screens, but Little Leach now inherits the race lead, and I tell you what, new man Cam into the 1:29s in the race off his last lap. Look at that, brilliant. So he's improving, and look at his racecraft. He's keeping a respectable Sutty Apex, who's sideways on the grass in the background. Cam was keeping Sutty behind him. Whoa, rolled on track there. That could have been a dangerous rejoin, as he rejoins just ahead of DJ Phil, now up into third. The Welshman, the second Welshman on the grid, the man from Prestatyn. Depending on the group he's in, could he team up with a man from Pontypridd? That'd be a good team, Maz, wouldn't it, that, eh?
Aye, surely would, wouldn't it?
As he's got TMLS flashing of the lights. Now, don't forget the rules and regulations. Flashing, not over the top, it says there. TMLS in. So Keegs is currently P5. Sutty's rejoined P6. Here's Gary in 7th. Swimfins there in 8th. Coming through Coppice. Nice and tidy there from Swimfins. Team Norfolk for the win, says Jamie Brazier. Is that him indicating that him and Cam could be teammates? Nice and tidy through Coppice here from Swimfins Mazda. Swimfins was a regular in the last league we was a part of. We didn't get to see Swimfins quite that much.
No, we didn't, did we?
Nice for him to get some time on screen as he comes round the Melbourne hairpin. Oh, takes the exit a bit wider than what he'd have liked, but back on the power and up the hill he goes towards the final corner now. Hard on the brakes and turns into that final hairpin, and around he goes, gets the power down, does it in second gear, so maybe a choice there. I know a few people flick it in second quite quickly, and he's up on his time as well, so that's good to see from Swimfins. Currently the battle on track is between DJ Phil, TMLS, Keegs and the Sutty Apex. Gary is currently sitting P7. Little Leach leads 7 seconds ahead of Cam, who is 3 seconds ahead of this battle here. Good little scrap we've got going on. In fact, Keegs must have made a mistake, Master. Yeah, he ran wide. Look on the, just looking at the stream, which is a bit obviously behind. Keegs ran wide, and that's allowed Gary through. DJ Phil all over the grass, and TMLS took the chicane rung as well, and Sutty will pass TMLS for P4. This is for the final podium spot in what is a fun race, and Sutty looks to send one up the inside, and I tell you what, the creator of the Sutty Send It himself, lunging up the inside of DJ Phil, but it didn't work. Hard on the brakes now, and TMLS has rear-ended Sutty there. Tried to possibly brake late. That'll be damage for both cars more than likely, and that's allowed Gary and Keegs up into 4th and 5th. TMLS has kept going and stays at the pits, and Sutty keeps going as well. Bit of a lunge that. There's TMLS just coming onto the GP part of the track. Little Leach comfortable out front so far at the moment. 1:29.4 is Little Leach's lap time. That's currently 3/10 slower. Let's just have a look at best lap. He's done a 1:29.3 as Little Leach, 2/10 slower than his best time. Cam is 9 seconds quicker than his best time set. DJ Phil is currently a second better than his time. Gary hasn't gone any quicker yet, but he's obviously had a drive-through penalty. Keegs as well, he's done a drive-through. His best lap's only 1:33. Gary up into 3rd place. Let's go back to that. In fact, we'll stay with Little Leach actually, because he's about to cross the line soon to win the little fun race before we get going in the season. 23rd of September the season gets underway. Gives everybody time, should I say, to practice their cars a bit more around the tracks we're racing, as well as us get a proper calendar out for the tracks this year and the groups with it. And there's Little Leach with a flash of the lights, like he did Tuesday night in the Clios. He crosses the line to take a win in the Simplay Motorsport Qualification 2 fun race. Cam sort of drifting around the last corner. Oh no, and he span. Oh, and there's Gary. Narrowly avoids Cam, but Gary is going to take a 2nd place right at the end. A flash of the lights from Gary. Cam has the call going and takes a 3rd from DJ Phil 4th. Keeg spins across the line for 5th. Sutty is rolling. And is that Daniel allowing Sutty to have 6th place? That's kind. Oh. He's let him have it, and Sutty's led up the rears. Just finish backwards. There we go. Sutty gets 6th place. TMS is going to come home in 7th. And Swinfin then, who's about to finish his race then. Plenty of time to still get prepped in and choose your car. Car submission. Keep your eyes out on the group for when your car has to be submitted by. What is that? A 1:41.2 is Swinfin's best, as he doesn't get time to finish the race. So that's everything done there. That's all the groups up to date. So the people who hasn't unfortunately set a time is myself, NJ, McCurtis and Holty. I do believe that is everybody who hasn't been able to set a lap time. But as from us from Simplay Motorsport, thank you for joining us again tonight. Mazda, thanks for coming on. I know you had work and was on late, but thanks for joining us. Yeah, are you excited now that the groups, the qualification's done and we can get the groups announced?
I certainly am, mate. I'm looking forward to the start of the race already.
Join us for the Simplay Motorsport. I think we're possibly streaming the practice events. We're also going to try and get some driver interviews for you as well on thoughts for the season and possible teammates and things. But from all of us here at Simplay Motorsport, you all have a good night and the rest of the week. Good night.